Recently, a CNN article about VR popped up explaining why you can't have legs in virtual reality yet. And I found a few things odd about it. Meta CTO says,
tracking your own legs accurately is super hard and basically not workable just from a physics standpoint with existing headsets.
Which is why Meta's own flagship social platform has ghostly floating avatars. But if that's all true, can you explain this? And I'm not making this video just to bash Meta, it's to clear something up. Legs are important. They literally ground you to reality, and also virtual reality. They are half of our body, and I'm not the only one to think this. I took a camera and asked a few people around Miami to see if they thought legs in VR are important.
Would you want legs on that avatar?
Oh yeah, feet, hell yeah. Imagine not having any legs, that's kind of weird. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, of course. Like legs? Amazing, yeah, I need legs.
Yeah, I think it'd make it more of a genuine experience.
It's absolute poppycock that you can't have legs in VR. There's tons of games that do it just fine.
Right? Like, we need the legs.
We need legs!
I feel like maybe Meta's being lazy. It's a little bit lazy.
And I think we have a clear consensus. Meta says legs in VR are too difficult. CNN says legs in VR are disconcerting or sometimes even sickening, which I don't know what they're talking about. And I'm here to say that it's not as hard as it sounds. In fact, if Meta really wanted to, they could make full body tracking a standard. It's way more important to the whole VR immersion thing than it seems. And I want to clear up the misinformation in this article to show everyone where we're really at when it comes to legs in VR. So let's get right into it. There are kind of three main types of VR users at this point. There are casual Quest users that have one of the first affordable VR headsets out there that does kind of everything to some extent. Then there are people that don't have VR at all and want it, and then there are the hardcore PC users that throw hundreds of dollars to have the latest in immersion gear. And frankly, the number of users in all categories are growing pretty rapidly. People interested in VR eventually become casuals, and some of those find the right app for them and they become enthusiasts. And just to be honest, I am an enthusiast, but I wouldn't have been if not for these. These are full body trackers. Using laser base stations, the position of these trackers are translated to your avatar, so your actual lower body movements are translated to movements for your avatar. This one thing changed everything in VR for me. Suddenly, I became very attached to my avatar. It was me. No matter what I looked like in VR, my body movements were directly translated to my avatar. The difference in immersion is immense. Having proper full body movements in VR for me is a bigger deal than having a higher resolution headset or wider field of view. And when people first step into VR using full body tracking, the first time VR effect is way stronger.
This is insane. This is amazing.
Super impressive.
To look in a mirror and see you, but not you, moving as you, does something really crazy to the brain. But there's a few problems regarding FBT. This is prohibitively expensive for most people, each tracker costing $100, requiring 3 of them, and needing base stations. Something you can buy separately, but they don't come in the box with the top-selling VR headset. And another problem, very few applications support this. But all of these can be remedied entirely. HTC, Meta, and Unity says that it's nearly impossible to offer full body tracking to mass consumers on standalone VR headsets. However, it's only impossible under one assumption that, quote, VR is hard enough as it is. No one's going to assume consumers will put on sensors themselves, end quote. But that assumption is simply wrong. Tens of thousands of us do it every single day, and it's because even for a single application, mostly VR chat, it's totally worth it. The difference between non-full body VR and full body VR is so immense that it's hard to really understand or say without trying it for yourself. And the crazy part is that once people do try it, they are hooked like nothing else I've ever seen in gaming or entertainment. They just became a part of a whole new virtual world, their entire body did. And I'd say that the problem isn't that any of this is impossible. It's that we're currently within a chicken and egg scenario, and everyone's kind of too scared to break the cycle. But But first, let me just back up a little bit to where technology is currently at for full body tracking. I said before that you need a PC. Base stations and Vive or Tundra trackers to accomplish full body tracking, but that's not entirely true at all. Right now, using only a standalone VR headset like the Quest 2 and a PC, you can use an array of IMU sensors with either Slime VR or the newer Harator X full body tracking systems. With these, you can have full body tracking for a fraction of the cost and with no base stations or lasers. And it's good full body tracking. HTC and Meta both say FBT is impossible because of camera placement and cost of hardware, but they haven't looked at the simplest of tracking technology that costs pennies: IMU-based tracking. And yeah, of course it's true, camera-based tracking wouldn't work for everybody. We all have different body shapes and sizes, but simply strapping a few IMUs to yourself can accomplish the same thing, and it's a proven technology. The problem here, though, is that you still need a PC to make everything work together, but that shouldn't be the case. The Harator X is a Bluetooth device. By all means, it should be able to run without a PC if Meta allowed it. But now that we have some background, on to the chicken and egg problem. Practically no developers are implementing full body tracking in their games or software, even though it gives access to an entirely new set of inputs like kicking down doors or jumping naturally. And this is largely because not many people have full body tracking. Developers would be implementing updates or features that only a small percentage of their user base would be able to use. And this means that because very few games have full body tracking features, the current buy-in cost for full body just isn't enough to justify new users to get proper full body tracking. It's the good old cycle of not enough uses, so nobody has it, so nobody develops for it, so nobody buys it because there's no uses for it. However, this cycle can end. Ask anybody with full body tracking, there are thousands and thousands of them, if their purchase was worth it. I can almost guarantee that their $300 to $900 spent for just Neos or VR chat functionality is something that they don't regret, and it's likely even changed their entire outlook on virtual reality entirely. So this is partially a call to developers out there. We need more games and more software with full body support. There are thousands of full body users out there, and you have the potential to truly pioneer VR game design and game design in general with the first few games that actually have full body presence within a virtual world. People say PC VR is dead, and to some extent, kind of yeah. PC VR games have been dry for years now, but that's also because very few games fully take advantage of the PC's potential. Developers understandably are playing it safe to make sales so they can make the next game. But full body tracking is getting more affordable and more hardware agnostic, and there are more users using it every single day. So it's kind of up to the developer community to push the boundaries further than what can be done on any other platform. The other platforms like standalone VR will just follow suit behind PC VR. More software with full body utility means more users that will buy full body, thus lowering the cost of the technology entirely and likely getting more people in VR seeing what it can do. And I also want to highlight projects like Slime VR and Harator X. These are two types of full body tracking that could work with standalone hardware now if Meta wanted them to. It's not impossible, it's cheaper than ever, and it changes VR entirely for the better. But this article wasn't just about full body tracking. I can talk all day about how much more immersive FBT is and how everyone that tries it is wowed, but this article was more about software using virtual legs at all. See, Meta's new social VR application Horizon has avatars just like Neos or VRChat, except they don't have legs. Rather than work on proper IK to give people's avatars legs that move on their own, Meta decided that Horizon should just have everyone float around as half-body Pixar characters. And I'm here to say no. We want our legs. Vice President of AR and VR at Unity said, rather than seeing an increase in VR legs, there will be fewer people asking about VR legs over time. And I completely disagree with this to the point that I'm gonna make an entire video on it, and here it is. The problem with Horizon not having legs isn't that it's impossible, and it isn't that it looks weird, it's that I legitimately don't think Meta sees the value in it. Rather than work on a truly groundbreaking leg system that revolutionizes VR, and and social presence within VR. They gave us the minimum viable product that's laughable and doesn't represent Meta's place within VR as its far dominant market leader, and it doesn't represent where VR is at as a whole. Can you imagine how much different the community response to Horizon would have been if Horizon legitimately did anything better or beneficial for the VR community? If with Meta's billions of dollars of backing, they did anything other than the bare minimum, easiest thing of cutting off everyone's body. Imagine if the tens of thousands of VR talent they poached from the industry worked towards the most advanced artificial intelligence enhanced leg IK out there and then offered it as a plugin for all VR apps. And this isn't just me being angry about legs in VR. This is about my disappointment that the #1 VR company in the world says legs are too hard when I'm sitting in my house with full body tracking in a room full of others doing the exact same. And this sort of thing is what keeps our headsets used. This sort of pushing the boundary of virtual reality is what keeps my headset from getting dusty on a shelf, and I know many people's headsets are getting dusty on shelves after Christmas. VR really, as a technology, is about pushing boundaries of entertainment, socialization, and gaming, not about selling VR headsets to the most people possible. If you make something truly compelling and reality changing, it sells itself. You don't need Super Bowl ads or billions of dollars of marketing, you just need something that's cool and makes people say wow. And I worry that Meta's approach to just get as many people in VR as possible, mostly just to get them on the platform early, brute forcing with marketing money and minimum viable products, is an ass backwards way to promote and increase adoption of VR, and it doesn't feel very organic. Legs in VR are not an impossible task. In fact, we already have them and have had them for years. They are literally half of our body, and proper implementation of them within VR games and social apps brings our body into the virtual world. They are important for dancing, kicking, leaning, sitting, laying down. They tell so much about people through body language, and that's something that can be easily missed on the internet, even in VR, and it's a huge part of expression. The problem is difficult, but it's not impossible. And as the entity practically representing all of VR, Meta could probably do a lot better actually representing where VR is at and pushing boundaries for VR other than headsets sold and money being made for the industry. We are more than just market growth statistics, just like how our presence within VR is more than just floating literal half-body people. So, on that note, this article, Why You Can't Have Legs in Virtual Reality Yet. Here's my rebuttal. You can have legs, and we should have legs, and we do have legs, and we shouldn't stand for anything else. I think proper implementation of legs across VR as a whole in the near future is probably one of the most important things that could lead to VR's mainstream adoption and success. We just have to ask for it and to show people where we're really at. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'm going to be streaming on Twitch using my full body tracked self multiple days this week, so come on by and say what's up. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out.